Here at IPL4, I've just been told that the match countdown has begun. I'm excited. Let's make some noise. Are you guys excited for this next matchup? All right, there you guys see aLive and GanZi. Very intently focused on this next game. The map has begun, and it looks like Fnatic aLive is going to be the green Terran at the bottom left-hand corner of Tal'Darim Altar. I want to hear it for aLive. Such a beast he is, but even beastlier perhaps is GanZi coming out through the open bracket, dominating everyone in his way. I don't believe he dropped any match at all. It is Complexity's GanZi.
Very curious to see what these two players do on Tal'Darim, how they open, where they transition to. Right now, both players opting not to wall as well once again, so both players just dropping their depots. You know, it really depends on preference, but more often than not in TVT, you just don't wall. I mean, it's not 100% necessary, but from time to time, having a supply depot wall can be very, very nice if there's Hellions that are dropped in your main or if they're trying to do a run by.
I always say this, man, the Terrans, one of the greatest strengths is their ability to have a labyrinth in their base, man. Especially, I guess I say that because I'm Zerg, but having the ability to maze everything off and make it much more difficult to get into the SCVs, it's pretty good.
Top-level Zerg players have actually come up with some pretty interesting sim cities at their naturals, too, to prevent Hellions from running by. I mean, I've definitely seen some things from Zerg players that I really like as far as how to orient your buildings into... Oh, and we do have a Rax going up for aLive. He also has his gas. It looks like it's going to be a CC first from GanZi here. Very bold move from GanZi, just going to drop the command center at the natural.
You know, you can command center first in TVT, though. The only difficulty I think he's going to find is that they didn't get a cross spawn. So any attacks that come from aLive, they can get there in a pretty reasonable amount of time. And that command center first opening could prove to be a little bit of a problem for him should aLive decide to be aggressive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And here comes his first Rax. Is he going to follow that up with a second Rax, or is he just going to transition straight into double gas here? It'll just really depend on where he wants to go. He almost has to get a second Rax just to be safe, and there's the second Rax going up for GanZi. Now, aLive is building a factory, so he is going to try and get some Hellions out there and do some harass. Now, is he going to get... Oh, he's actually... continually building Marines off of the barracks. So he might just try and do some sort of early pressure here, or maybe he just wants to get out 2 Marines.
And you know, if that's the case, if he is trying to do some type of early pressure, then he is going to be pretty in a good shape, because that command center first opening from GanZi means he doesn't have that much production. Nothing at all, really. Just got his first barracks out on the ground, trying to get another one out right now. And it looks like aLive is going to go for the quick starport, but no second gas yet. So once again, no cloak coming out of him.
Still no gas from GanZi. He's just going 100% all minerals right now. There we go. The first gas does go down for GanZi. And, you know, we could see some potential aggression here from aLive. If he sniffs out this command center first, he's going to be in such a good position to get in there and harass and do some damage. And look here, aLive producing Hellions off of that single factory, also continually building Marines this entire time. I think he might have enough to poke the front and do some significant damage in a little bit here, especially once that Banshee comes out.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to realize, too, that GanZi here opened up with command center first. He doesn't have that much Marine production at all. He's going to struggle to get Marines out, and Marines, without stim, without all the upgrades they need against a Banshee, the Banshee can actually take quite a few Marines out at the early phase of StarCraft 2. So this could be really troublesome for GanZi, but having said that, if he can survive all of this, he is going to be in a fantastic spot. He has gotten so much macro down on the ground. He's going to be able to deny that Hellion as well. So things continue to stay hidden. He also is going to have his scout killed off. So both players pretty much playing in the dark right now, unless they decide to throw down a comsat.
Well, aLive could poke the front here. He does have 5 Marines moving across the midfield right now and a single Hellion. There is that bunker, though, so the bunker will put a stop to any sort of a run-by. It looks like this SCV will get picked off. No. GanZi pulls his Marines forward. And
here comes that Banshee, man. It's making its way across the map. GanZi now researching concussive shells, of course, meaning that one of his barracks has a tech lab, and he's going to not have that much Marine production at all. I don't even know if he has enough Marines to hold off this Banshee. He's showing 7 on the units tab right now, but not everything at the natural, and plenty of SCVs being picked off here. Finally, some more Marines coming back, but there's still an opening. Look, GanZi doesn't want to commit with these Marines because he knows at this stage that Banshee can actually out-micro the Marines.
Oh, absolutely. Banshees are fantastic against Marines with no upgrades. He's hardly taking any damage from these Marines. He's doing a great job microing right now.
That Banshee has 9 kills already, man.
Yeah,
and of course, it can be repaired, too.
Yeah, and you know, not too many of those are SCV kills, but you know, the more he whittles down these Marines, if a second Banshee were to join the party, but he could do a tremendous amount of damage.
Yeah, that Banshee really starting to equalize things out here because remember, of course, GanZi did go for that command center first. Now aLive has been able to eke things out once again. Whether it be Marine kills or SCV kills, they're still kills. He loses the Banshee, though. Just getting a little bit too bold there, man.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit too bold with the Banshee. It gets sniped with a few remaining hits. Now, interesting choice to research concussive shells. He ended up canceling that, obviously.
Oh, really?
It wasn't really going to help him out in that situation, but moving up to 4 racks here, going to go ahead and get that factory. GanZi's economy right now, 35 harvesters to the 31 of aLive.
The question here right now is, did aLive do enough damage with that Banshee? Now remember, he did lose it to equalize things out because his command center is significantly later at this point. He doesn't have the macro that GanZi has. And looking at things right now, I don't think he did. He didn't kill enough SCVs. And I said, you know, Marines and SCVs both are nice, but SCVs obviously being more vital. And he pretty much lost his Banshee, only killed Marines, not enough SCVs, and I don't think he is at the point in this game where he's ahead of GanZi.
Very true. Now, GanZi is going to try and do a combat shield push here, but perfect positioning from aLive. He might actually be able to get a flank. He could maybe send some units around the side and try and intercept here, but no, he's just going to outright chase GanZi and get him out of the natural.
Able to chase Stim is just not done yet, man. This is pretty late Stim upgrades from both these players, of course, given the events of things that have occurred so far. So neither player can chase down the other army. GanZi, though, is going to spread. He might choose to engage here, but that is not going to be favorable at all. Not with the tank and not with the Hellions.
No, certainly not. And we do have a bio follow-up from aLive this time. So changing.
It's actually bio from both.
Yeah, bio from both. Absolutely. And he's doing a great job of it, too, and he has those 2 siege tanks just mixed in with no siege
those
yet.
Tanks
just
really
now
helping
started
out.
siege mode.
He is giving chase against those Marines right here. GanZi in a little bit of trouble. He's not going to fall back into his natural. He's going to try to lead the army away, giving him more time to rebuild. So that's a good indicator that he just didn't have enough to defend here. And GanZi is slowly getting his army whittled away. Not good at all. Finally, reinforcements starting to gather at the natural. Is it going to be enough to hold off this army? Keep in mind, siege mode is not researched yet. It's halfway done, but it's not done yet.
No, it certainly isn't. And keep in mind, guys, the positional spawns here favor aLive so much. He has direct access to GanZi's natural. He can just reinforce and continually reinforce this position below the natural in the nook there. And I think that, you know, GanZi realizing this thinks, hey, I need to go around this and I need to get a drop done here and do some damage at his main.
As soon as aLive gets siege mode, he's going to have that sweet spot. And he can siege up the mineral fields. He can apply a ton of pressure against GanZi. GanZi's going to have to figure out how to deal with that. He doesn't have Banshees here, which is usually what you want to use against tanks. He doesn't have medevacs either. Those medevacs are over on the other side of the map, so he's not going to be able to elevator down. He's going to instead go into the main of aLive. There are troops coming back home, though. How many SCV kills is GanZi going to be able to get? It looks like quite a bit, but he's going to lose his army as a result. Those 2 medevacs in trouble as well. And it looks like 1 will go down. And meanwhile, over at the natural, look at that. GanZi giving up his natural because the sweet spot was sieged up.
Yeah, certainly. But, well, you know, he's in so much trouble now.
Yeah.
He had to relocate his orbital. He lost all that mining time. He just actually landed his orbital. He's probably going to have to relocate it again. So, you know, just so much time invested in trying to avoid this situation of aLive. And aLive just in a fantastic position right now, and you know, these spawn points on this map make it so difficult in a TVT if you happen to be in these two locations.
You know, aLive is just playing such a solid game right now. He understands where to siege up. His position here is fantastic. He knows now that GanZi had to relocate the command center somewhere else, but that's okay because he can still control the ramp, and now he's bringing in a medevac with 8 Marines, trying to do some more damage, capitalizing against GanZi, and not making the mistake I think that GanZi made last time and leaving that medevac and getting too bold.
Very true, very true. He does have his third up and running at this point. It's operational, but you gotta look at the supplies. aLive is up.
Oh, fresh meals, fresh meals. aLive could go after the fresh meals, and he is going to focus them down. Wonderful job. Actually, one of them surviving there, and the entire medevac drop force getting cleaned up. Nice job by GanZi.
Very nice job by GanZi, indeed. Still no gas at the third for GanZi, though, so he's really not going to be able to get those upgrades that he needs, and he's continually getting supply blocked. He's supply blocked extremely hard right now at 110, and just now starting those depots, so it's a difficult situation for him. And look at the sheer size of aLive's army moving out across the map right now.
Yeah, and I'm surprised aLive actually backed off the sweet spot a little bit. I think he could have held it down for a longer period of time, but he is going to back off. And now GanZi expanding to the third. He knows he's behind. In fact, that puts him up a base if theoretically he can hold off this attack. That's a big if, though. There's so many tanks and Marines here, and GanZi coming in. Those tanks are now sieged up. They're going to start to obliterate the Marines. Don't care how many medevacs are in there. Those Marines their body parts are being decimated right now, and GanZi has to fall back. aLive in a fantastic position. GG!
GG is called immediately.
And there you have